Thank you for joining us on the Family First Life Health and Wealth podcast. Please like us on all of our platforms at Family First Life Health and Wealth. I hope this information helps you grow and learn. Please share this with everybody you know, all your friends, all your family. We're hiring all across the country. Be well. Welcome, everyone, to the Health and Wealth podcast. We're going to call it the Health and Wealth SmartCast today because we have a very, very special guest. She is the SVP of FFL Abundant, Mrs. Brittany SmarT. Brittany, what is going on today?
I like that intro.
Yeah, we're going to call it the SmartCast.
I love it.
So how are things out you're everywhere, in every state, all over the place, making it happen, building a team. You're out in California, correct? Awesome. And how long you been back out that way?
I have been out here since August now.
Okay, nice. So let's start the journey, right? You know, you've been FFL about 4 years, a Hall of Fame producer, building a big team, doing lots of things, also learning a lot along the way. Give us kind of the rundown when you got started and what it looked like when in the beginning, basically.
Yeah, so 2018, Steve, is when I got contracted. I actually got contracted in January of 2018. I feel like I've been around for like so long. It's so funny to say that.
Oh, gee.
But, I know. I actually remember when you came, but that's another story we'll tell it. But 2018, January, I really didn't do much with the business until August 2018. That's when I started buying leads, taking things seriously, and I started doing travel trips, things like that.
Okay, nice. What did you do prior to FFL? I know I've heard it, but I forgot.
Yeah, I was at another insurance company, captive company. I was there for about 3 years, and I decided there was no money in insurance. I said, I must suck at this. It's so difficult. I was like the typical agent roller coaster all over the place, full of emotions. So I actually left the insurance industry and I started working in commercial banking and portfolio management. So I worked for like a couple different banks. I had a pretty good, cushy 6-figure salary when I quit that and came to FFL.
Okay. A lot on this podcast, I like to harp on like entrepreneurship and all that stuff. And I feel like you're one that really has an entrepreneurial spirit and has probably had one for a while. Do you think you've had that most of your life, or did it kind of come later on?
I think, Steve, like that I've been like this my whole life. I couldn't figure out though why I would start a job, I'd do really well, but why I'd get really bored and I just feel so stuck. And then I'd get like, not complacent because I'd still be doing well, but I just felt like I wasn't tapping into any of my potential. And so I would quit doing that. And then I would go to something else. Right. So I kind of had just always had that spirit, like no matter what, I have a job to do. It's always just been me relying on me, which I love that. I'm fine with it. Right. And so that's something that always just continually drives and motivates me.
I love that. And I think, there's so many people here, obviously, that kind of fall into this and then they kind of let that ride with them. So I love the fact that you have that. Now, you're a pretty consistent Hall of Fame, 30K a month producer. And what I love is you've evolved just like we've evolved as a company with, first it was all field, then we have a pandemic, then we get on, Zooms, calls, this, that, the other. Tell me a little bit about your personal production and how it's evolved to what you're doing now and how you're meeting and helping clients now.
Yeah. So when I think about when I started, I was running primarily Facebook leads, 20K Facebook leads, right? Every single month. Then it was like an evolution, getting into mortgage, doing mail drops, mailers, buy per lead, that sort of thing. And then now with the pandemic, and now we're giving clients a lot more options to meet with us. I've done it all, tried live transfers, Zoom, and over the phone. So, and honestly though, Steve, preference, I prefer to go and meet with clients. That's my number one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I look, being able to sit across from Bob and Mary and meet them, and you build some rapport, and you're one that I know in a lot of your posts and pictures and things, like, you build a great connection with your clients. It's just different. It's different doing it over the phone or doing Zoom. Look, it all works at the end of the day. So how have you kind of evolved now as you're doing more of the phone? Like, how do you feel? What are some of the things you do to build the same or as close to the same type of rapport as you did before in the house?
You know what? I think that it starts with, the initial phone call, Steve. Like, you have probably, I don't know if you've ever used a dialer. I doubt it. But when you use a dialer, let's say to book appointments, your connection with the client isn't the same as when you will call them, right? Because like that's kind of when the rapport building starts. But something that's like really instrumental, I think, is after I book the appointment, I'm finding out, questions about prescription medications, health history, if they have existing insurance, smoking status, is there anybody else on the loan with them or anybody else that they're shopping for insurance for? So I'm getting all those questions out of the way. So I'm getting to know them then. But I'm letting them know, hey, I'm going to do my due diligence in the next 24 hours. So when you and I meet tomorrow, Steve, over the phone at 2 p.m., I'm going to have some things in mind for you already. So if I need to run illustrations, run quotes, etc., I have all that stuff ready. But what I tell them immediately after is, hey, Steve, you're going to receive an email from me and a text message. It's going to include my state license through New Jersey, my business card, and it has a picture of myself on it so they can see me. The carriers that I partner with, and also if it is mortgage, the form that you filled out, so you can also have that for reference. So I send them those pieces. I text it over as soon as we get off the phone. The majority of them reply immediately, and they're like, thank you so much, right? So then, Steve, like, I feel like that's the part where kind of the rapport building starts. So then tomorrow when you and I get on the phone, I'm like, okay, Steve, so did you have a chance to look me up through the Department of Insurance website? Some people say yeah, some people say no. But just because you sent out all that information and you were thorough, they're like, we're good to go. Like, I don't give them this long intro about me and blah, blah, blah. Like, they're ready to go.
Yeah, I love that. You're building instant credibility. You're not like hiding behind like, oh, I'm on the phone and like, is this a scam type of thing, which people obviously think. So I love that you're doing that and building the credibility the same way. Now you're also building a big team. You have a big team. You have people in all of the 47 states that you've lived in. So how has that been, managing your personal production and also building a team? Like, what does that look like for you on kind of like your daily and weekly routine?
I mean, I'm trying just as much as I think everybody. The growth has seemed very slow and at times painful, So one of the things I think that is important to remember, Steve, is just like, so with moving around and things like that, one of the things I always think about is I'm like, A, things could be so much worse, but B is like, wow, even if I move, because I told you before this call, like I've lived in 4 states in the last 2 years. So in all of those states, doesn't matter, East Coast, West Coast, whatever, we have an opportunity where we can serve people, serve our clients, and serve agents. So we can hire in all the states, we can go see them, we have the ability to get in front of them, and then also we can still make money while doing all these things, right? Now with us going virtually, a bunch of agents like that you see on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, Steve, they're like pulling over in the car, writing quick 3,800, and then, they're off, right, to their appointment or whatever. It's crazy.
It really is nuts. And the fact that you were able, like, where else, what other industry are you able to be like, hey, like, if I wanted to live in 4 states in 2 years, I could do that. And I'm sure your income has not skipped a beat. Like, you write your $30K a month, sometimes more, what have you. Like, where else can you do that? So I think people need to really understand the opportunity we have here whatever you want out of your life personally, you can get here with the opportunity. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
So what are some of the things, look, I'm the type, we talked about it earlier, I'm more focused on the things I need to do to be better than the things that, oh my God, like I did this and it's great, because I think that's how you grow. And I think that's the culture that we have here. So along your journey of your time, what are some of the things that you're working on and you say, hey, like this worked, that was great. And then some of the things where you say, hey, this didn't work, I'm going to do something differently this year.
Yeah, there's a couple things that come to mind. I think that one of the things that I've always done really well is I can always adapt to every different lead source that we have, right? Throw curveballs at me. We're still going to be able to play the game. We're still going to be able to roll. One of the things I think, Steve, is like I've done a poor job is getting on with my teamwork, because, they see the numbers, right? But people don't necessarily see everything that it takes to get to those numbers. I'm sure you go through that all the time.
Yeah.
But I think just sharing more of my process and what I'm doing. And now I'm like the team and we got on Zoom at 6 a.m. this morning, and, we're dialing. I'm going to be taking a call at 3:00 my time after this call. I have a mortgage appointment over the phone. I'm going to have my team listening in over Zoom. Just doing more of those things to get people engaged. And also people can kind of look more into like the producer processing, like the life, the cycle, and see, we encounter all the same things, and to see how much work it actually takes. It's not like Steve goes out every week and writes 30K and the numbers just magically, it seems like the numbers for you just magically appear every single week, right? Out of nowhere. But I know what the effort and the work that it takes behind that and what you're doing. And you're so systematic, like you are a well-running machine, So just like allowing agents to see more of that.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, because, they do see the numbers, and we do a phenomenal job. Like we promote, everybody has somebody doing social media. Brittany did this, Steve did that. And you see that part of it, but like, you don't see the 7 straight no sales that I had, and the one lady threw me out of the house. Like you don't see that. And I think if we do a good job of communicating that to people, you're going to scare off some people that are just going to be like, that's too tough. And you're going to find, the men from the boys type of a thing, like who's going to actually go through the process. So I love that. And I definitely think you're going to see a lot of growth from that. What are some of your goals now as we go into, look, we're weeks away from 2022. I feel like the last 3 years of me being here has been like a whirlwind. I'm probably sure it feels the same for you. What are some of the things you're looking in 2022 to achieve? And what are some of the ways you think you're going to get there?
I really need to work on my recruiting. That's probably like one of my biggest weaknesses, Steve, among many, as it comes to like agency building, but really putting in a much better recruiting system. Sean's always talking about, if something's not working, like why would we wait 6 months or a year to change our staff or to change different things, like 90 days, like, and then also kind of running next year, like life and death, because I don't want to be in the same place that I was in this year. I did have growth. I did have a lot of like personal growth moments, blah, blah. But like at the end of the day, we want to I know like you're, not where you want to be. And I know it drives you crazy every day, because I know you want to at least be a board member. Same thing as I do, but the not even that, but I want the other people on that I work with that are giving their all and putting everything they have into this business. I want them to succeed as well in such a huge way. And so, by, being able to fund and put a lot of money back into the business, I'll be able to in turn help all of them grow as well. And obviously we know, Steve, our biggest override is on ourselves. So, you could definitely see me in the Hall of Fame next year. And also while getting to board member.
Yeah. And what I love about your goal is like the hardest goals are, hey, I'm going to do something very, very high on the side of personal production, and then I'm going to do it on the side of growth, which means you're working double because you really got to work 2 jobs at the end of the day to really achieve it. So I love the goal. Now, you have some leaders on your team. You have some people that are emerging. What are some of the things that you do with them to help take them to the next level, which obviously in turn is going to help you get to the next level?
I try to get them around people like you, Sean, Mike, Andrew, Albert, maybe Jack, you know, like I realize that I'm not the ingredient in anything. I'm not the secret sauce. I'm not the magic. I think one of the things also that was ingrained in me, because I'm, like you said, I'm an OG, is personal production always comes first. So just kind of letting them know, like, take care of yourself first so you can take care of other people as well. So that's always like huge and number one. And also just kind of, took a couple big things from this year. And one of the things, and Andrew always tells me this, Steve, is just like, stop spending so much time and doing all these things for the wrong people. Like you cannot, he says, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Mm. If you stop and you think about that, you're like, okay, you're right, you know? And then if you just spend all this time wanting something that somebody doesn't, they're not there, you're obviously going to get frustrated, right? And you're spinning your wheels. That's just not a good use of time or energy. Yeah.
You know what I love just in talking to you, and I think it's a cultural thing, is like we are successful individually, as agencies, as a company, but we're more focused on what we need to do to be better, because the road to $1 billion, that's the way you're going to get there. Just like the road, you know, when you started, like we probably weren't even doing at that point. Maybe we were doing 200,000 as a company, and now we've times it by practically 4.5. So I love the fact that as a company, we're focusing on that. You know, Sean the other day on a Facebook Live, he talked about 2022, the year of growth, and how we're going to get to the road to $1 billion. So I love the fact that you're reflecting on the things that you need to do differently, as opposed to me and you sitting here being like, man, 2021, greatest thing ever. Let's go pop some champagne. It's like we celebrate our victories for like 5 seconds and then we move on and focus on what's next.
I remember last year, I think I was texting you and I said, great job on, you know, hitting 1 million. And you were like, yeah, but my team numbers are this, like I suck. I feel like such a, you're like, I feel like such a failure. And I'm like, if you feel like a failure, what am I supposed to feel like? Right. But that was like such a hard hitting moment, because I was like, wow, like you just said, we're always focused on what we could be doing better. And I know that, you know, I mean, you're going to do 1.5 million this year?
I mean, I might, I'll be close. I don't know if I'll hit it. I'll be more than I did last year. Probably maybe 1.4.
And like, that's crazy. And you're building a big organization. You guys are doing like 600K a month. So, you know, to hear you, Steve, just say, you know, yeah, no, you know, like it's all in the past. And like, I think you said, it is cultural. It is kind of like the FFL way, not to look at the scoreboard and be amazed and, you know, excited about it and then stop working. You know, we're always trying to get better.
What's cool about it is like, and it's kind of like your journey of being able to live in the States and do what you want to do and live your life and have personal growth. You've been able to make money because you're focused on the things that you need to do to be better. And I think it's the same way, you know, with all of us. I mean, if you work hard and you strive to do more, you'll do it. You'll make a ton of money, help a lot of people in the interim, but you're always striving for more to get to the next level. And really, the next level is about how do we take our people who haven't experienced what maybe you and I have, how do we take those people there? Because honestly, it's far more gratifying for me, and you can agree or not agree, to see somebody get a first sale and have a 20K month than it is for me to go write whatever it is. Like, it doesn't do it for me anymore. It does it for me to see somebody else win.
100%, 1,000% agree.
So what are some of the things, and, you know, like kind of going back to your leaders, how many leaders would you say that you have that really are pouring in, ready to get staff and ready to take it to the next level? Do you have any?
Like 4.
Okay. So that's awesome. So, and you have staff wise, what do you have for yourself right now?
I have 3. I have someone that helps with contracting, and then I have my admin, and then I have a recruiter and social media recruiter.
Okay. Does it scare you to pay 3 staff people?
No, it doesn't. And I think, I mean, I got staffed at like 100K. I was doing like 100K a month. So, I mean, I don't know if that's too late or, you know, whatever, but I mean, I kind of like dipped my toes in it. I got 1, then I got 2, and then I got 3. And now I'm like, okay, what's next? Because I know that the next level, Steve, is like paying a really good salary for a really good recruiter. Cause I feel like that's something that I'm totally missing, and that could really take us to the next level.
Yeah. 100%. And it is interesting. Like, it gets to a point where you're more scared of getting left behind than you are than taking on another salary, because, like, let's face facts. You can write insurance. You've written a ton of annuities in your time. How many million in annuities have you done in your career?
I mean, I don't think it's that much. I kind of stopped writing annuities because I don't like it as much as like helping people with life insurance, to be honest. I mean, I've probably done like 3 million.
Oh, only 3 million, you know.
But, you know.
You're funny. So, but it's interesting because we're sitting here, and we're just more afraid of getting left behind, all of us, than we are to invest in our business. And it's such a shift in mentality. How do you handle the new agent that kind of comes in and they're afraid to invest? And obviously in the beginning, assistant leads, but how do you manage that person?
I think that setting the expectation up front is huge about, hey, Steve, when you come in, this is what you have to spend your first week. If you don't have it, you can't get there. Let's talk about those reasons, and then how much you can invest. And then, is that somebody that I'm willing to also invest in as well, right? Like, if you said, Steve, well, I have $300, like I just donated my plasma. Okay. All right. I'm in for 300 also, because they're showing the effort. I think though, and I could be wrong, so disclaimer, I just want to say this, but if you cannot buy leads or start investing right away, I just don't think that's the person that I'm like going to be able to work with, because I don't know. I can't do anything for them, and I would not want them to not be able to feed their families, pay their bills, you know, on my watch, and act like everything's going to be fine if they have no money to invest.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I've talked a lot on this podcast talking about, like, you know, small business loans, credit cards, different things that you can do. And look, we'll all, you know, match and help and this and that. But at the end of the day, you have to have enough to kind of really for the month, in my opinion. Like, you know,
yeah,
having it for the week is great. But I mean, like, if you don't have a great week, I'd rather you go, like you said, go get a job, you know, save some money up, give yourself $1,000 a week for 4 weeks of leads, and then be able to hit the ground running and write 20 grand your first month and never look back on your cash flow. So yeah. I like the way you manage it and the way you strategize it. So now if somebody comes to you and they say, hey, I got $1,000 a week for the first 4 weeks, how do you then manage that person? What are some of the first steps that you're telling them to get them rolling?
We're going to have fun in the CRM. We're going to buy everything we can.
Dive in.
Get on WorkSpots, take advantage of the WorkSpots discount. Like, there's a 40% off sales, Steve, off of, I know. I'll use example, Natalie, a girl that I work with in Chicago, and she's gotten off to a really good start. She's a great personality. She's like driven. But one of the things she knew right away coming in is that she has to spend money on leads. She knew that, invest. But she literally, like, there was 3 WorkSpots discounts that week. She bought leads every single time there was a discount. She ended up with like 1,000 leads her first week.
Wow.
Like minimum.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that was like from just sitting at home, never had done this before, just calling people, booking appointments, doing everything over the phone.
Wow.
Yeah. And so she has, you know, probably 700 leads that she didn't even touch for the next week.
That's great. And what did she write so far?
She did, I think, 8,000 that first week. Mm-hmm.
And just think about what you just said. Like, she wasn't confused. She listened to you. She put the numbers in her favor. She took advantage of the advantages that we have with WorkSpots. Obviously, all the different things that are cascaded down by being partners with Integrity. And she goes out and writes $8,000. Like, and she probably, I mean, what did she do before FFL? I'm sure she didn't make $8,000 a week.
Nurse.
Yeah, definitely didn't make $8,000 a week.
Right. She's a nurse. And it's not like she was spending crazy money, Steve. Like, every time she bought leads, she spent like maybe like 300 here, like 250 here, you know, when the discounts came. But she is now on like a program for a drop, right? Yeah. So she will be brand new mortgage come in, but we were on this morning dialing internet leads. She's booking. I'm a huge fan of the second chance mortgage leads in the CRM. I lived off of those when I was in Jersey my first year.
Yeah.
I mean, I love those leads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's buying.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I mean, look, everything works and those work great because, like, you know, fact of the matter is when I get it new, yeah, I sell a bunch, but there's a bunch that is just not the right time, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's awesome. So we'll kind of wrap with this. 2022, big year for you, for me, for the company. Where do you want to be and where do you realistically see yourself? You know, I know you said Hall of Fame personally. That's fine. We'll put that on the side. As a business, putting you on the spot, what do you think and what do you want?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really think next year, Steve, like, I think that, well, of the 4 people that I spoke about, the 4 managers, I think they can get their businesses to at least EVP, right? So if I can get at least 3 of them doing that, that's like what, 900 right there.
Yeah.
You know, I think that by the end of the year we could be doing. Why couldn't we be doing it, right? It's going on me though to lead that charge and to get it going and to get out of a complacent, comfortable place and to really do things that are, you know, I haven't done before to get this. And I understand that.
Yeah. And I love that because that's how we got here in the side of personal production. That's how we're going to get here for everything. We're going to do things differently than we did it the year before, because if you keep doing the things like you did them the year before, you're going to be in the same place a year from now. So I love the fact that you recognize it. I did a call with Mark before, and I kind of said the same thing, like, hey, like I got to definitely change it up and change my mentality. So I love that. Leave us with a parting shot for just the audience, people getting started, new agents, just whatever you feel on your heart that would help new people get moving.
One thing is being here for the time that I have been. I'm very consistent as a producer, right? Everybody knows that. But I have seen people come into the business and just explode, it seems like overnight, agency building, producers, whatever. And then I've seen some people have slower starts. I've seen some people completely, you know, kind of like you forget about them and all of a sudden they kind of like reemerge, right? So none of that matters. You know, really, if you can, try to run your own race. Stay competitive, of course. Stay true to you know, whatever you set out to do. But really, at the end of the day, just realize that everything is always going to be on us. So if we succeed, it's on us. Nobody else can take the credit, but if we fail, it has to be on us. We have to take that credit. We have to take that L, but learn from those things. And in this business, I think like the more you fail, get slapped in the face, all those things, punched in the teeth. If you can continue to get back up and up and up in this business, you're going to make a lot of money by taking a lot, right? But you have to experience a lot of things, and you have to be ready to grow.
Yeah. I love that. Cause I'm a firm believer in that too. It's not a matter of, hey, I gotta be, great. It's a matter of how much can I take and endure and keep getting up. Because when you keep getting up, you stack up a few wins, and a few wins are thousands of dollars, and it really, really adds up. So, I appreciate you. Look forward to having you down. Annual convention. We are 2 months away down in Miami. Guys, if you're not registered, get registered. It's going to be, it's going to be massive. From the first one that I met you at in 2019, it'll probably quadruple the amount of people that'll be there, which is wild. Held at a baseball stadium of all things, right?
Your hood, Steve.
Yeah, right. Right in my hood. Yeah, you're right. Well, I look forward to seeing you and your team. Look forward to seeing you on the leaderboard as you've been, and it's an honor to have you on, and anything we can do for you guys, we will. So thank you, and I'll talk soon.
Thank you for everything, and thank you for setting the pace. Really.
Thanks. I'm just trying to not get kicked in the teeth. As you said, keep getting up. But thanks. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.
You got it.